If you're looking to master product management interviews and get offers from some of the top tech companies in the world, make sure to incorporate these into your answers. Today, I want to share with you 9 things you can use to help you answer any product management interview question and get you one step closer to your dream product role. Let's go. The first is listen carefully and take notes. Not listen namesake, but actively listen with intent. Take notes of what the interviewer is saying and make sure you get the prompt right verbatim, word for word. Oftentimes, I will see candidates take this step extremely lightly and slightly misrepresent the prompt from what was said by the interviewer to what was actually written in the notes, sometimes changing the meaning of the prompt a little bit, which can actually have a big difference later on. Taking notes allows you to free your brain from the burden of remembering things. This is an interview and it is an already stressful 40 minutes. We don't want to further burden our brains with tasks related to memory. We want to save our brains for tasks related to thinking, computation, and intelligence. The second one, and my personal favorite, I call this lean out. You must have heard of the very famous book by Sheryl Sandberg called Lean In. Well, this is the opposite. This is lean out. What I mean by this is that PM candidates are great talkers. And because of this, oftentimes they just jump in very quickly and make hasty decisions as a result. This also often results in very bounded, narrow thinking. So when you get the prompt, take a step back. Take 10 seconds to do nothing. Just digest the prompt. You can let the interviewer know, hey, I'm going to take a moment to digest this prompt and I'll come back to you with some clarification questions. As someone who's conducted over 500 interviews and been part of hiring committees at top tech companies, I can tell you that candidates who take a pause and really think through what they are doing always come up with better responses. Also, that 10-second pause that seems awkward to you, it really is not that awkward. Interviewers understand that we are all human. We need time and peace to think. It is better for you to take those 10 seconds of silence and come with a response that is interesting and engaging and makes for a great discussion compared to rushing into an answer to avoid an awkward pause, in which case the entire discussion is awkward. So as soon as you hear the prompt, resist the urge to dive in immediately, take a step back, lean out, and avoid the feeling of being rushed. The third tip is to ask for clarifications. Product interview prompts are designed to be broad and cloudy. They want to test how you clarify, how you scope things from a very broad prompt. So make sure to understand the expectations of your interviewer before jumping in, and make sure that you and the interviewer are on the exact same page about the prompt that you guys are discussing. Now, the fourth one is to always have a structure. My personal recommendation is to create a structure dynamically and communicate that structure at the beginning of the interview. Meaning, once you understand what the question is, first think about what approach you want to take to go through this question, proactively share that approach with your interviewer, and then go through each step of that approach. Avoid rambling. In a recent interview, I asked someone a product sense question and they went on without a break for about 25 minutes in a complete stream of consciousness plus brain dump. Extremely hard to follow, and obviously they were surprised as to why the hiring decision was not in their favor. Number 5 is to proactively explain your decision-making process. Explain what parts of your answers really mean, and explain what decisions you are making and why you are making these decisions proactively. If an interviewer has to probe you to understand, hey, what does this metric really mean? What is the formula for this metric? Or if they have to ask you, why did you prioritize this segment over a different segment? Then that is a point deducted against you. We want to be able to do these proactively and not depend on the interviewer probing us for these details. And also remember that every prioritization you are doing subconsciously or every solution you are writing out, they make more sense to you in your head than to the interviewer. So let's do them a favor and proactively share our decision-making criteria or the nature of our solutions so they can understand exactly what we're talking about. Number 6 is to periodically check in with your interviewer. Throughout a product sense or a product execution prompt, you'll be making micro decisions and macro decisions. You'll be making prioritization decisions. You'll be changing from one part of the structure to another part of the structure. It can be a little bit difficult to follow along for the person on the other side. So check in periodically with them, letting them know that you're moving from one segment to the other, or here's a specific decision that you have made based on certain reasoning. Number 7 is to be okay with pivoting and taking time to rethink if needed. If you've made a mistake, that's okay. We're human, it happens. As soon as you realize that you're on the wrong track, resist that feeling that, oh, I've already made this mistake, now I need to stick to this. No, you don't need to stick to this. It's okay to pivot. It's okay to say, hey, I think I'm on the wrong track. Let me take a moment to regather my thoughts. Being able to adjust when you are wrong, being able to accept when you are wrong, and being able to pivot are all valuable skills in a product manager, and it is okay if that has happened. It is not guaranteed that if you've made a mistake and you've now pivoted that you will save this interview, because that is dependent on how wrong you were at the beginning and how long you have been wrong already and whether there's enough time to recover. But I promise you, pivoting is definitely better than sticking to the wrong answer even after you know it that it's the wrong answer. Number 8 is to summarize what you've discussed. There's a lot happening in an interview question, and I highly recommend summarizing at the end and even after specific sections that you go through to restate what has happened so far, where did we start at the top of the prompt, what decisions we've made, and what directions we've gone in so far. And once you've finished the final answer that they were looking for, ensure that you summarize all of your findings. And lastly, let your enthusiasm for this role and for this company genuinely shine through. Now, this is a non-technical thing, and many people might think, oh, that's not so important. I just got to do really well in my product sense and execution. No, that's not the case. Of course, you have to do really well in product sense and execution. But oftentimes, when multiple candidates do a really good job in all of these sections, sometimes they're looking for something else to break the tie. And when the hiring committee meets to find who is the person that they want to go with, it is possible that the person who's more enthusiastic about this role, who seems to be a better personality fit or a culture fit, might actually get the preference. Is it a guarantee? No. But is it a possibility? Absolutely. Showing your true enthusiasm for this role can also help you separate yourselves from some people who are potentially using this interview as like a practice interview or a negotiation tactic with some other company, and they may not be as excited about the role or the company. So do not underestimate the power of this. So doing these 9 things will help you answer any product management interview question and get you one step closer to your dream role. And consider subscribing to the channel as more content is coming out shortly, and I don't want you to miss out on those.